I'm Chad Moore. I'm Director of Technical Art and Animation at Turbine Games, part of WB. I'm also co-founder and teacher at Rigging Dojo. It's an online, online character rigging school, technical art school.
Can you tell us sort of your path into technical art? Do you come from the programming side, the art side, a little bit of both?
Mostly the art side, but obviously a little bit of both now. I started out as an animator, was curious about how I can better control the rigs I was working with. Started looking at rigging, became a rigger, and learned how to program through Mel, and then actually learned how to script through Mel, and then learned how to program through Python. So that's kind of my path.
Okay. Can you give an example of how your tech art skills were used to solve a problem, something that really made a big difference, rather than having to do it by hand?
Oh yeah, I think that's kind of core into our job. So there's every tech artist probably has a lot of examples of that, from small little things to larger tools. The thing that really kind of set me on the path to learn how to program was we had this really complicated multi-step process to take animations out of Motion Builder and put them into Maya, and it was very manual. It took a half-hour per move, and we were doing hundreds and hundreds of motion capture moves, so it just did not compute. We needed to fix the situation. So I made a shelf in Maya, and I found the Mel commands and put them in order on how to do it. And then the artist would click each button, and that was great because it cut the half-hour process to about 10 minutes. And then I talked to one of our programmers, and I said, "This is what I have right now. This is what I want," and we kind of whiteboarded and went back and forth. And he was able to take that into a functional UI and made that process 30 seconds and batchable, so we can do hundreds of animations at a time. And then my real start was I looked at his code and I figured out, okay, I knew the steps, the progression, the logic, what I wanted to do. I knew the design of the tool, and then I saw how to implement it through his code. And that's how I really learned how to program.
I think, yeah, having really good examples and then taking is something maybe we don't do enough of.
Yeah, and find people that are smarter than you and talk to them.
So what elements of CS, math, art, other fields do you use regularly as a technical artist? Or?
My focus is a lot on animation, so
Okay.
my personal focus is I know a lot about character animation. It's a passion of mine, so I'm always looking towards that. On the art side, I feel, and especially as a director, a manager, really, I don't really need to know the ins and outs of the entire pipeline. I need to know the foundations of art and how things should look and feel, and help the art director achieve that.
What would you say is the most important thing for educators to know about what the needs of a technical artist are? What should we be training students in how to approach this field?
Good question. It's tough to quantify technical art, to generalize it, because it is so different at every company you go to. There are certainly shared things that technical artists do, whether you're from an art background and rig or from a programming background and make tools and anything in between. At the end of the day, a technical artist is someone who has to be observant, to watch how things are going and try to find things to collapse to make shorter and faster. They have to solve problems, and they have to be able to communicate. And those, we can talk for hours about each one of those three things. But a good communicator isn't the boisterous, shiny, happy person. You could be a reserved person, but still be a good communicator. So you kind of have to balance all that out.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to let us know? Things you would like to see project-wise? Things you'd like to see educators take on? Good coffee places in and around the area? Just
I like coffee. As far as educators like to teach their students,
or just sort of what 5 years out, if you wanted to go with the visionary route,
yeah. I mean, recently, and it's starting to trickle down to a lot of obviously bigger companies, but even on down to the smaller ones. Technical artists are now able to use techniques that have been around for a long time in software development. We're able to do object-oriented programming. We're able to unit test. We're able to build really big things like software development. So, the question is, do you teach art and find technical artists, or you teach software development and find technical artists? I think you kind of have to do both, which is not easy. And you need to kind of customize it for when you start identifying your students as someone who might be tech art friendly. So I think that level of, very difficult with that level of flexibility and individual attention per student. When you find the technical artists in the group of people that are usually aren't technical artists, it goes a long way to get them up to speed, if that helps.
That was fantastic. Chad, thank you very much.
You're welcome.